controversy that's been going on. Some of you may have followed it, maybe not. With Adventures with Purpose, and the accusations that have been made against them from this Sam the Adventure guy. I'm going to put a link to the video I'm referring to in the description, and so you can go check it out for yourself. The main reason I'm doing this is because it's almost like we have lost the meaning of what we're all doing. I mean, the bottom line is that Kiely Rodney is dead, and we are trying to get to the bottom of everything with, as I think I've said before, with partial information, because we don't have all of the information. We have what's out there available to the public, but we don't have all the information that law enforcement has, and so we don't have all the information that Adventures with Purpose has, and so we're all operating on partial information, and that can lead to some really going down some dangerous rabbit holes. And what I've seen on here is I've seen us going down a bunch of rabbit holes. I mean, we've gone from the main purpose of trying to find out what happened to Kiely, and now it's branched off into going down all these different things, and it's almost like I refer to it as a clickbait jamboree, where we're going off and I mean, we've got some of these, and I'm not criticizing you if you're doing this, but it's amazing to me how you've got these 8 and 10 hour long live streams. Don't y'all have jobs? Don't you have a life outside of YouTube? I mean, it's just astounding to me, So I mean, I think we need to really maybe take a step back and look at what we're really doing. Are we really trying to help, or are we just trying to build our subscriber base? I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me how. I mean, it's just gotten crazy. I mean, every little thing, and then you've got these people making these, tarot card readings and channeling, all that. Which, I'm sorry if you believe in that stuff. I don't. I think it's a bunch of hooey. But, that's my opinion. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. But I don't put much credence in that stuff. Now, I know that some people have gotten lucky and made some good guesses, but that's about it as far as I'm concerned. But, all right, let's get into what I wanted to get into, and that is this Sam the Adventure Man on another, like I say, in the video that I'll link to, has been making some accusations against Jared and the Adventures with Purpose team and their motives and all that stuff. Okay, number one, we don't know what other people's motives are. We can kind of take a guess or whatever, but we don't really know what people's motives are. But his problem was, he said that Jared was doing it, that was his business model. That they were doing all these things to build a business. And that they were making all kinds of money from that. And he says that's why he left it, because he says it was getting a little too, I don't remember the word he used, but he didn't agree with their premise on this stuff. Now, let me just say right now, if you're an entrepreneur and you're starting a business, what is your purpose? Now, it may be to provide some kind of service, but your main purpose for starting a business is to make money. I mean, look how many people on here now are doing the same thing. They're just not as successful. I mean, everybody's got paid subscriptions now, and all these people going to God, I can't even think what it's called now. The can't think of it. But where you have to pay for a subscription, $5 a month, $10 a month, to be able to watch the videos that aren't on YouTube. And all that is a money making deal. People are getting in on it. It's like every freaking channel now has got some type of merch. I mean, no matter how small the channel, they've got merch. It used to be it was just like a few people doing it, and now it seems like everybody and their dog is doing it. Got merch, got this, got all this extra stuff they're trying to sell. My point is, everybody who's trying to monetize their site or their channel is trying to make money. That may not be what you originally intended, but people will take opportunities when they're there to make money. That's just the bottom line. I think back, some of you that are a little older remember all of the Y2K stuff. Look how many people capitalized. I mean, we had people when I was living up in Seattle at the time. And you had all of these Y2K stores opening up, and people were selling all of this stuff for, preparation for the Y2K catastrophe that was supposedly coming. I remember my mom called me up and she asked me, "Do you have stuff in storage? Do you have all this stuff stored up for Y2K?" And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, because it's a bunch of crap. Anybody that knows anything about computers knows that it's just a bunch of hype. There ain't nothing going to happen. I mean, even like the local electric company, the gas company, everybody was coming out saying, "Look, we're prepared for this. Nothing is going to happen." But yet, everybody listened to the alarmists, and everybody coming out saying, that planes were going to fall out of the air, computers were going to die, and planes were going to fall out of the air. All of the electrical substations were going to go dead. There wasn't going to be any power. All this different stuff that they come up with, scare tactics, trying to make a buck. And they made a lot of money. There were people who made, I know one store in Seattle, the guy ended up being a millionaire. Just because of all the stuff that he was selling, hyping up the Y2K scare. And people so many times are just sheep. And they follow without thinking. You got to think. And like I told my mom, I said, hey, nothing going to happen. Anybody knows anything about computers knows that it's going to go this smooth as silk. It's not going to do anything to anything. And what happened? Midnight hit. The year 2000 came. Do you see any planes fall out of the air? Well, at least as a result of Y2K. Did you see the power go off? Did you see the gas stations? All this different stuff, every little thing that, and you had all these, you even had a lot of these TV preachers that were making a mint off of people. And I'm not against preachers, legitimate preachers, but a lot of these TV guys, I don't give 2 cents for them. And they were coming out and writing these books and making millions of dollars off of gullible people. And it just disgusted me. But what I guess my point in going off on that rabbit hole, or bunny trail, or whatever trail it is, badger trail, skunk trail. The main thing is people will seize opportunity. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. Now, this Sam guy was saying that he was saying how much money Jared was making and stuff like that. And I don't know how he knew that. I don't know, did Jared show him his pay stubs, or did he show him his ledger? I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he does know. But is that wrong? Is that wrong to make money? Especially when you're out there helping people. Now, do I agree with all of their tactics? And one of the things that he said that their money shot was catching the reaction of parents when they were informed they'd found their loved one. See, I can't concur with all of AWP's tactics. Would I do that? No. To me, that's just not. I don't know. And that's just my opinion. So I mean, it doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean somebody else is wrong. It takes an opposite opinion. Everybody has their own. Like I say, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. So. It just depends on your moral stance and my moral stance and how we were raised, and there's just a lot of factors that go into that, how we view things. But just because we don't agree with it doesn't mean it's wrong. And just because somebody's making money doesn't mean it's wrong, right? Like you had this other dive team, which I can't remember the name of right now, who originally came out and had posted, great praise for AWP and how great they were and what a service they were performing and stuff like that. And then they later came back and dissed them, saying, they shouldn't be doing this and da-da-da-da-da. Why the sudden change? Who knows? Maybe it's jealousy. Maybe I don't know, because I don't know why people do things. I'm not going to judge their motives on it, but I'm just stating that's what happened. But why is it that for the longest time they didn't have a problem with them and thought they were doing great things for families? Then all of a sudden they completely did a 180 and started disparaging them and writing articles about them and stuff and what a bunch of skunks they were, basically. But the truth is, anybody on here who is out to monetize their channel is simply taking an opportunity. Now, just because AWP took an opportunity, but you got to keep in mind too that this is how they've got a lot of expensive equipment. That sonar is not cheap. The rigs that they use are not cheap. The boats and everything that they use are not cheap. The gas, especially considering how much gas is right now. It takes a lot of money, probably 5 miles to the gallon to get in those big things, to drive clear across the country. That ain't cheap. So, you take all of that into consideration. I can't really condemn them. Like I said, would I do some of the things that they do? Do I agree with all their tactics? No. But that's me. That doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just a matter of perspective, a matter of opinion. But, they do make a good amount of money off of this. But again, bottom line, what is wrong with that? What's wrong with it? And at the same time, they're finding answers for families. They're providing, answers to families. They're bringing their loved ones home. Even years, 30, 40 years later, they're finding these people and bringing closure to the families. That's got to be worth something. They're not charging the families for it. They're completely funded by, YouTube, by their merch that they sell, by their memberships, which are not cheap. And the one thing I really do not like, and again, this is just my opinion, I don't like it when they put videos and stuff like that behind a paywall. I just don't. And I guess that's my conscience. That's how I would look at it. I just don't see doing that. I don't know. Again, that's my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right, and doesn't mean that they're wrong. But that's my opinion. I wouldn't do it. Especially considering how much money they're bringing in, I don't think they really need all that extra from their, expensive memberships and stuff. So that kind of grates me a little bit. That they bring out a video, but you got to pay to watch it. And then like 2 weeks later or whatever, however long it was, I have no idea. They bring it out for the regular public. So I don't know. There's so many things that are so subjective. Or a matter of interpretation, a matter of opinion, a matter of perspective, a matter of the morality of it. What's right and what's wrong. Now, I mean, there are absolutes. I believe that there are absolutes. There are things that are right and things that are wrong. But there's also a lot of gray area, which is subject to each individual's interpretation. And also I refuse to get in some of these battles that you see on there now, and people, like I said, all these pissing matches going on where people are trying to disparage other people and calling them perverts and calling it, and I'm not defending the people that are being disparaged, because I kind of think some of them actually deserve it. But when you spend all your time, all of a sudden I'm seeing all these videos trying to take down these people. For what? I mean, what's your motive? I mean, what do you get out of making 100 videos about somebody being a jerk? It just, isn't there a better way to use your time? So that's like what I was saying. We're getting completely away from what our original intent was and what our original motive was, and getting into all these other areas that really don't mean crap. They really don't. And so I want you to just, think about it. Don't go by just because. And by the way, another thing, and I don't know if I already said this or not, but this Sam the Adventure Man guy, keep in mind that on that broadcast, on that live stream, we're only hearing one side. We hear what he says about, he and Jared and blah, 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 but we don't hear the other side. And I'd be willing to bet you that you won't, because I really think, and I could be proved wrong on this, but I really think that AWP has too much class to start getting in a pissing match with this guy. He can say what he says and all that. I don't know, excuse me, I don't know if Jared will come out and say anything, and I may be wrong, but I tend to believe that he won't. I don't think he's going to even get engaged with this guy. But like I said, we've only heard one side of the story. You've got to talk to both sides before you can make an opinion. You got all these people that have heard this one broadcast, and you read all the comments. In fact, you excuse me, read all the comments in that link I'm going to provide, and you've got so many people just trashing AWP. Oh, we thought they were good guys. Now they're a bunch of blah 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 blah. So it's like, okay, you're making your decision off of just hearing one side. How is that fair? You got to hear both sides before you can make an informed decision on anything. When I was a cop and I was investigating crimes, do you think we just listened to one side and took the facts from there? No, we talked to as many individuals as we could to try to get all sides. And that's what any law enforcement agency will do. That's one reason that the investigation has taken a while, because I guarantee you, they're interviewing people, they're re-interviewing them, they're comparing notes, they're looking for discrepancies in what they've said. And that's the fair way to do it. You don't just listen to one side and all of a sudden just start condemning somebody just because one guy said something. Don't be a sheep. Seriously. Don't be a sheep. Think for yourself and investigate. Look at it from all sides. But then once you have all the information, you can make an informed decision. But until then, don't be a doofus. Don't be a sheep. Don't just, I've got the answer. No. You gotta look at it from all sides, gather all the information, and then make an informed decision. All right? There was a couple other things I was going to talk about, but I don't remember what they were. But I think, I think I've stated the main purpose of what I wanted to do today. So think about it, people. Think about it. Don't just jump to conclusions based on what one person said. All right? We'll catch you later.